January is when we recommit to the habits that support our health and well-being, and naturally, we start looking at what can support those goals, including supplements. The supplement industry is a low-trust category. It's lightly regulated, products are easy to make, and companies don't even have to list everything on their label. That's exactly why I choose Momentous. They've become the high-trust brand in a low-trust category. They weren't satisfied with the industry standard, so they built the Momentous standard. Their commitment to doing things the right way, not the easy way. What truly sets Momentous apart is their testing and transparency. Every product is independently certified by NSF for sport, meaning it's tested for contaminants, heavy metals, banned substances, and verified for label accuracy. So you always know exactly what you're putting in your body. And if a product doesn't meet their standard, it never hits the shelves. In a space where trust is rare, Momentous is redefining what trust looks like. And I've genuinely felt the difference using their protein and creatine every day. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first order with promo code PODCAST. Head to livemomentous.com and use promo code PODCAST for up to 35% off your first order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code PODCAST.
In a world where January is supposed to be boring, one staple of the holidays refuses to end. The great deals at Verizon. The joy just keeps on coming. Right now, you can save on 4 new phones and 4 lines. Critics agree it's the deal that keeps on giving. Come into Verizon and save on 4 new phones and 4 lines on unlimited welcome. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Youth mental health is a complex challenge that requires comprehensive solutions. We must strengthen after-school programs. We must make digital literacy tools available in our schools. We must work with mental health professionals to support children. And we must empower mentors, educators, and parents to keep kids happy. Learn more about our commitment to finding lasting solutions at empowerourfuturecoalition.com/solutions. Paid for by the Coalition to Empower Our Future.
In a world where January is supposed to be boring, one staple of the holidays refuses to end. The great deals at Verizon. The joy just keeps on coming. Right now, you can save on 4 new phones and 4 lines. Critics agree it's the deal that keeps on giving. Come into Verizon and save on 4 new phones and 4 lines on unlimited welcome. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Hi, it's Matt here from P1 with Matt and Tommy, and this episode is sponsored by eBay. Ever tried to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger, a paper title, and some blind trust? With Secure Purchase on eBay, you don't have to. Secure Purchase means sellers and titles are verified. Financing covered. Registration handled. Delivery, get your ride, plates, and paperwork shipped to you, so you can skip the DMV and sketchy meetups. Buy your next car on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods Classic Ghost Story. This is a little bit of a deviation to the normal format because this is a creature, and the creature is, or the creatures are, the Blue Men of MINCH. Really interesting, this, and it takes place in the Scottish region. I'll get straight into it. Are you ready for the story? August 1857. A broad-beamed brigantine named Lady Isla ventures into the notorious Channel between Scotland's northwest coast and the Outer Hebrides. Locals call this stretch the Minch, and older mariners speak its name with a shudder. By late afternoon, an unnatural stillness has fallen over the sea. The sails hang limp on the masts. The only sounds are the gentle slap of water on the hull and the creak of rigging. Seabirds that escorted the ship earlier have vanished. An eerie calm, too calm, presses on the crew, and they exchange uneasy glances as they drift near the Shiant Isles. These isles mark the heart of the Blue Men's domain, a strait once known to sailors as the current of destruction for the number of ships lost there. First Mate Rory MacLeod lowers his voice as he approaches Captain Ewan McRae at the helm. No wind, sir, and the tide's turning. Yet the water. He nods towards strange eddies swirling against the hull. Despite the flat air, little ripples caress the ship's sides, as if something below is stirring. Captain McRae, a weathered seaman of 50 years, frowns. He knows these waters have tempestuous moods, and he has heard the old folk on Lewis speak of Nafir Gorma, the Blue Men. But he says nothing yet. He scans the horizon, where a bank of cloud is beginning to bruise the sky a deep purple. On the forecastle, a few sailors gather and mutter among themselves in Gaelic. Yatra ad Estorcha, whispers one. Perhaps they have risen. The man making the sign of the cross is Donald, the Booston, born and raised on Harris. His grandfather swore he'd seen blue-skinned men in these waters. Donald's broad hand trembles as he fingers a wooden rosary. Another sailor, Tomas, spits over the side and forces a chuckle. Superstitious nonsense, he says, trying to break the tension. Blue men and storm kelpies, old wives' tales. But his eyes dart nervously to the glassy sea. None of them can deny that something feels wrong. The weather is fair, yet their ship glides through an unnatural stillness. Old Donald shoots Tamas a dark look. In a low voice he responds, "Mark my words, when the wind dies in the Minch, but the sea still moves, it's no natural calm. They keep the water restless with their long arms, even when the air is still." He stares out over the water, where the current indeed churns in odd, localized whirls. Aye, they're out there, though you can't see them. Yet. Captain McRae steps forward to address the men, keeping his tone brisk. "That's enough," he says. "Back to posts. We'll catch the evening breeze soon." But even he cannot hide the doubt furrowing his brow. He has sailed these waters for decades, ferrying cargo and passengers among the isles, and he's learned to heed the signs. The Minch has its spirits, if half the tavern tales are true. As the crew disperses, the captain quietly asks Donald, "What do you feel, friend?" Donald's weather-beaten face is grim. "It's not right. This calm is the kind they spoke of in my village, the kind before a sudden fury." He hesitates, then adds, "My own father saw something out here once. Said it swam like a man, but blue as the sea." McRae nods solemnly. "Let's pray your father's friend stays sleeping below," he replies, attempting a reassuring smile that does not quite reach his eyes. They continue on in the waning light, the Lady Isla merely drifting. With no wind, the captain orders the longboat lowered to tow the ship. But the moment two men climb down to the oars, a swirling eddy nearly capsizes the small boat. The men hastily clamber back onto the brigantine, deciding it's safer to wait for a breeze than to provoke the currents. The sun sinks toward the western ocean. The crew's unease grows with the colourful dusk. Below deck, the ship's cat hides in a coil of rope, refusing to come out. One of the younger sailors, Finlay, absently hums an old Hebridean tune to ward off fear. The words are half forgotten, but Donald picks it up, singing under his breath. No wind you'll feel under calm of the sky, yet hear you the host beneath the stones, blue flood of the current bent on our woe. His words trail off, lost to a sudden chill. Twilight has come. The sunset's warmth fades, and a pall of grey slides over the heavens. The ominous calm persists, a dead stillness now broken only by the distant rumble of thunder. Captain McCrae paces the deck, lantern in hand. He senses what his men has to do. Tonight the water lies quiet too long, a silence waiting to be shattered. Beneath the Lady Isla, something ancient and malicious may already be stirring. A little past midnight, the stillness breaks, not with wind, at least not at first, but with a faint voice. It's a barely audible sing-song echo that seems to rise from the depths. Alec, a sailor on watch at the bow, freezes as he hears what sounds like snatches of laughter bubbling up from under the keel. He peers into the black water and whispers, "Hello?" There is no response he can discern, only a low murmur, like someone speaking just below the surface. Alex's skin prickles. He leans over the railing with the lantern. Its light glimmering on the ink-dark sea. For an instant, he thinks he sees a shape, a pale something, vanishing beneath a ripple. A fish, perhaps, a seal. It moved too quickly, too fluidly upright to be either. Before he can decide, a sharp cry rings out from the stern. "Someone in the water!" The crew rushes to the rails, lantern swinging. Out in the darkness, between the ship and the shadow of the Shiant rocks, figures seem to bob in the water. 1, 2, 3, no 4. Heads and shoulders emerge, illuminated dimly by the flicker of St. Elmo's fire, now crackling at the tips of the mast. The men shout in alarm. What they see defies reason. Human-like forms, skin tinged bluey-grey, rising waist-high out of the sea, as if the waves were their own lower bodies. The figures twist and dive with grace, porpoising through the swells. All around, the water that was flat moments ago begins to roil. A sudden gust of wind slaps the slack sails full. The Lady Isla lists hard to port, caught off guard by the squall. "All hands reef the mainsail," the first mate bellows. The crew scrambles into action amid the chaos. Rain comes without warning, a torrent unleashed from the once clear sky. Thunder booms overhead, echoing like demonic laughter. By the time McCrae seizes the wheel, the calm night has transformed into a howling gale. Waves rear up, hammering the hull. Cold seawater cascades across the deck, and the ship's timbers groan under the sudden fury. Amid peals of thunder, other voices become clear, high and wild. The crew hears mocking laughter carried on the wind, and something like a chant or rhyme shouted in a language none of them quite know. It sounds vaguely Gaelic, yet older, distorted by the crash of waves. Donald, clinging to a stay, crosses himself repeatedly. "Mary, protect us. They're here, the blue men. Storm kelpies from the deeps," he cries over the din. In the flashes of lightning, the sailors catch glimpses of blue-skinned figures, keeping pace with the ship, swimming effortlessly despite the raging sea. One creature with a long grey face and streaming greenish beard rides a wave crest, grinning at the men on deck before flipping backward into the foam. Another with long, sinewy arms grabs hold of the rudder for a moment, sending a terrible shudder through the vessel, then lets go with a cackle when a crewman throws a belaying pin at it. Tamas, the skeptic, is now white as a sheet as he hauls on a line. He nearly slips on the drenched planks when the ship lurches again. Finley grabs his arm, and together they tie down a flapping sail. Salt spray slaps their faces. Over the shriek of the wind, a wailing call comes from the darkness. "Hum, brothers, come quickly." The men do not know the tongue, but the malevolent glee needs no translation. Captain McRae's eyes dart across the waves, seeking the leader of this onslaught. Lightning forks overhead, and in its brief illumination he sees them. A pack of blue men to starboard, about half a cable's length away, heads and shoulders rising from the sea. They are close enough now that he can discern their terrible features. Faces long and gaunt, skin bluish-grey like a drowned corpse, eyes black and shining with wicked intelligence. Each wears a tattered blue cap on its head, and their bodies from the waist up look muscled like strong men, except tinted the colour of the ocean. One, seemingly the chief, is at the forefront. Even in the storm's frenzy, a strange calm seems to surround this figure as he keeps pace with the ship. He raises one long arm, and the sea around him seems to swell at the gesture. Suddenly, a massive wave slams the Lady Isla. Wood cracks and men are thrown off their feet. A desperate scream rings out. One of the crew, young Ewan, has been swept overboard. For an instant, his form is visible, thrashing in the glowing phosphorescence of the agitated water. Then several dark shapes converge, and he is pulled under with a gurgling cry. The men stare in horror. There is nothing to be done. Ewan is gone, vanished into the black maw of the sea. "God have mercy," Captain McRae breathes, gripping the wheel so hard his knuckles pale. Around him the blue men's laughter peals, voices echoing unnaturally, as if the whole gale is guffawing at their loss. Through the blinding rain, Captain McRae locks eyes with the blue chief as the creature rises higher on a towering wave. The blue man's torso is fully visible in a flicker of lightning, broad-shouldered and blue as a stormy sky, with a mane of kelp-like hair whipping around a face that is long, grey and cruel. Those black, gleaming eyes fix on McRae, and a chill clutches the captain's heart. When the being speaks, his voice carries preternaturally over the thunder, each word distinct and ringing with a rhythmic cadence. "Man of the black cap, what do you say, as your proud ship cleaves the brine?" The crew cowers, many making signs of the cross or whispering prayers. They have heard of this ritual in old ditties, the riddle of the blue men. The captain's black cap, now soaked, marks him as the master of the ship. and it is he who must answer. McCrae knows the legend, failed to reply in kind, failed to complete the rhyme, and the blue men will capsize the ship and drag all hands to a watery grave. Donald had spoken of it just hours ago, telling Tomas that a quick tongue was as important as a steady rudder in these straits. McCrae realizes this is a battle of wits for the life of his crew. He stills himself and in a voice as steady as he can muster, shouts back into the gale, "My speedy ship takes the shortest way, and I'll follow you line by line." The captain's answer has matched the meter and rhyme of the creature's challenge. For a heartbeat, a silence falls. The wind seems to pause, as if the storm watches to see what will happen next. The Blue Chief's eyes narrow at McCrae's bold response, clearly unaccustomed to defiance. The creature bares his teeth in a grimace that might be a snarl or a grin. When he speaks again, his tone is sharpened. "My men are eager, my men are ready to drag you below the waves." At this, several of the blue men circling the ship howl and cheer, splashing water high, as if to show how ready they are to swamp the Lady Isla. "My ship is speedy, my ship is steady. If it sank, it would wreck your caves." The wind dies to a low moan, and the rain stops. The final word of McCrae's retort echoes across the water. "Wreck your caves." A bold taunt thrown back at the blue men. The crew of the Lady Isla stare from captain to sea creatures, hardly daring to breathe. Did their skipper just threaten them back? The Blue Chief's face twists in surprise and outrage. Clearly he did not expect a mere mortal to best him in verse. He opens his mouth as if to retort, but no words come. For the first time, a look of doubt, even fear, crosses that inhuman face. The rhyming duel has been won by the captain. The ancient rules of this strange game hold that the blue men cannot harm a vessel whose master meets their challenge with equal cunning. McCrae's quick wits have, in a heartbeat, snatched his ship from the jaws of doom. When the sailors look back to the sea, the blue men are gone, vanished. Only the churning waves remain, growing smaller by the second. The storm that raged so violently moments before has begun to abate. The black thunderclouds are scattering, torn apart. Stars wink through rifts in the sky. Incredibly, the wind now gentles to a steady breeze. A friendly wind at that, filling the sails in exactly the right direction to push the Lady Isla out of the cursed strait. McCrae allows the men a moment of cathartic celebration, but gently reminds them to keep steady at their tasks. The ship still needs care. The Shiant Isles are already fading into the black horizon, and with them the nightmare of the past hour. There is no sign of pursuit. The blue men have slunk back to their underwater caves to lick their wounds, cheated of their sport this night. His tale is inspired by the genuine Scottish maritime legend of the Blue Men of the Minch, also known in Gaelic as Nath Gorma. These mythological creatures are said to inhabit the strait between the Outer Hebrides and the mainland, looking for sailors to drown and ships to sink. According to Hebridean folklore, the blue men can conjure storms at will, and will often approach vessels during an eerie calm, rising from the waves. If the skipper fails to complete the rhyme or answer in kind, the blue men will attempt to capsize the ship and drag the crew to a watery grave. As part of the wider Celtic tradition of water spirits, or storm kelpies, the blue men of the Minch have been a staple of local seafaring lore for centuries. Their legend has been preserved through oral storytelling in the Hebrides and recorded by folklorists. For instance, folklorist Donald A. Mackenzie documented the iconic first duel between the ship's master and the Blue Men's chief, as well as other encounters where the blue-skinned spirits call each other by name and howl winds to overturn boats. To this day, the Blue Men of Minch remain one of Scotland's most evocative sea legends, a reminder of the supernatural terrors once believed to lurk beneath the waves.
In a world where January is supposed to be boring, one staple of the holidays refuses to end. The great deals at Verizon. The joy just keeps on coming. Right now, you can save on 4 new phones and 4 lines. Critics agree it's the deal that keeps on giving. Come into Verizon and save on 4 new phones and 4 lines on unlimited welcome. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
We live in a culture obsessed with dieting, weight loss, and exercise. And that can make eating disorder behaviors easy to miss. But the reality is, eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that take a major toll on your health and your life. But recovery is possible. Eating disorders are more common than you might think. Chances are you know someone who is struggling with one. Or maybe you're struggling yourself. If you're concerned about an eating disorder in yourself or a loved one, I want to introduce you to Equip. Equip is a fully virtual, evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps patients achieve lasting recovery at home. Every Equip patient is matched with a multidisciplinary care team that includes a therapist, dietitian, medical provider, and mentors. And you get a personalized treatment plan that's tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Equip treats patients of all ages and all eating disorder diagnoses. It's covered by insurance, and there's no wait list. If you think that you or a loved one could be struggling with an eating disorder, don't wait to get help. Visit equip.health to learn more. That's equip.health.
I can really imagine these blue beings. And they kind of, well, I don't know, they kind of look, I don't know, they do remind my mind of something. But I can't think what. Maybe I'm thinking of Aladdin, you know, the Disney, because he's blue, isn't he, I think, of the sea. But no, they're like massive Adonis-type figures with muscles. Creating storms. Oh, to have that power. I would love to. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you again tomorrow for the Reddit episode. Take care, everyone.
In a world where January is supposed to be boring, one staple of the holidays refuses to end. The great deals at Verizon. The joy just keeps on coming. Right now, you can save on 4 new phones and 4 lines. Critics agree it's the deal that keeps on giving. Come into Verizon and save on 4 new phones and 4 lines on unlimited welcome. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Youth mental health is a complex challenge that requires comprehensive solutions. We must strengthen after-school programs. We must make digital literacy tools available in our schools. We must work with mental health professionals to support children. And we must empower mentors, educators, and parents to keep kids happy. Learn more about our commitment to finding lasting solutions at empowerourfuturecoalition.com/solutions. Paid for by the Coalition to Empower Our Future.
Flowers die in 3 days. Matching underwear from MeUndies, that's a gift that lasts. MeUndies creates matching prints for couples and friends, same adorable designs in different cuts for each of you, all made from their signature ultramodal fabric that feels impossibly soft. With 30 million pairs sold and 90,000 five-star reviews, MeUndies matching prints are the perfect gift. Valentine's Day is February 14th, so don't wait. Get exclusive deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/ACAST, code ACAST. That's MeUndies.com/ACAST, code ACAST.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.